Alrighty, so today we are moving on from equivalent fractions, taking improper fractions, changing them to mixed numbers, and back again to adding fractions with like denominators. So how do we go about taking two fractions and adding them together to make an even bigger fraction? Well, there's a couple of simple steps, and a lot of it these are skills that we've been practicing all year. So now we're just combining those skills together in order to solve a problem. So here's what you're going to do. When you have two fractions that have the same denominator, you want to keep this in mind. Your denominator is not going to change. Remember last week how we kept saying you can think of your denominator for a while like a lazy couch potato, because although the denominator is important, our denominators aren't changing very much lately. They kind of stay the same. So you want to think of it like that. Okay, my denominator is not going to change. And that's the case when we're adding two fractions with like denominators too. Your denominator is going to stay the same. So when we add, say, 3/12 and 6/12, your denominator is going to stay 12ths. We're not going to add them together to give us 24. It's going to stay a 12. A lot of kids, this is a mistake they make when they're adding fractions. Your brain kind of automatically thinks, ooh, two numbers, we should add them together. But keep in mind that fractions are a little bit different, so we don't want to add our denominators. They're going to stay the same. We are, however, going to add our numerators. So we're going to take our 3 and our 6, and we're going to add them together. So what's 3 plus 6? Very good, 9. So we can say that 3/12 plus 6/12 equals 9/12. But we're not done. What do we need to do next? That's right, we need to simplify. Now, keep in mind, sometimes directions are going to tell you to simplify a fraction, or you might see this word, reduce. Remember that simplify and reduce, they mean the same thing. They're synonyms. So simplify and reduce, they're telling you to do the same skill. So let's get to simplifying. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our 9/12. And do you remember what we're going to do to figure out how to simplify our 9/12? What's that fancy term you just learned last week? Right, we are going to look for our friend, the GCF, or the greatest common factor. So to figure this out, we're going to list out our factors of 9 and our factors of 12. Now, remember, your factors, those are the numbers that you're multiplying together to get a product. So don't get it confused with multiples, which is something different. So we're going to list out our factors of 9. Okay, so think about it for a moment. What are your factors of 9? Good. We have 1, 3, and 9. Okay, what are my factors of 12? I'll give you a hint. There's a few more factors of 12 than there are factors of 9. Good. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. Okay, now that we have our two lists of factors, now we're going to look for that GCF, or you're looking for the factor that both your numerator and denominator have in common. That's the biggest. So looking at our two sets of factors, we can identify that 3 is our GCF. So we're going to take that 3, we're going to plug it in up here, and we are going to divide. Now remember, don't forget that when you are simplifying your fractions, we're used to finding equivalent fractions using multiplication. Now we need to start to think, okay, if we're simplifying or reducing a fraction, we only want to use division. So let's divide. 9 divided by 3 is good, 3. 12 divided by 3 is good, 4. So 3/4 is our complete answer. So if we were to rewrite this problem, we could say that 3/12 plus 6/12 equals 3/4. Because remember, when you're giving your answer, you want to make sure that your answer is simplified. If you were to put just 9/12 as your answer, it would not be considered correct because you didn't simplify. So always remember to simplify. Even if the directions don't ask you to, you still want to do it. Okay, it's one of those math things that even if they don't tell you to do it, they still expect you to do it. So always remember from here on out, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, anything with fractions, unless it tells you not to, simplify your fractions. Okay, now if you're looking at this and thinking, okay, this seems pretty doable, I want to try some fractions with unlike denominators. On a different video, I'm going to show you how to do that. That's a 5th grade skill, but if you feel like you'd like a little bit of a challenge, I can show you how to add fractions with unlike denominators.